Hello, everyone. We'll be getting started in just a couple minutes, but I'm gonna wait for everyone to start joining and then we should start. Hello. Hi, all. I see greetings from the chat. Just gonna wait a few minutes for folks to join today, and then we will get started on a quick overview as well as a demo. Okay, we'll wait just a little bit longer for folks to join. Have one question. There will be a recording of today's webinar that will be sent out to everyone following the webinar. So just a quick overview of today's agenda. So we'll start with just some quick introductions and an overview of Issuu, followed by a product demo of how to create video collateral from InDesign using the InDesign extensions with Issuu. And then lastly, we'll have a short Q&A session, as well as some special offers if you stick around to the end. So as folks are joining into today's call, just a little bit of housekeeping. Today, all participants will be muted throughout the duration of the presentation, just to ensure best audio quality for everyone. If you have any questions, you can submit them anytime during today's webinar. If you click on the Q&A button to do so, as shown below where it's circled, you can submit any questions and I will answer them, or some of our teammates who are also on today's call will be answering questions as well. And finally, we'll be recording today's webinar and we will share the link in our follow-up emails. So you can listen to it again or share it with others who might be interested in learning more if you have other folks who you might want to share this with. So just keeping an eye on participants joining. So again, today's webinar will be recorded and shared back out. But if you stick around to the end, we might have some extra treats for you all today. So a little bit about me. My name is Meghan Cole, and I'm a product marketing manager at Issuu. I had previous roles in both advertising and design. I've worked in kind of graphic design side with print production, as well as a lot of ad campaigns and brand strategy pieces. And I'm a big fan of all things digital, which is how I ended up here at Issuu. As someone who is a fan of advertising and marketing, I'd love to get you guys to participate today with a couple polls. So I've launched the first poll. If you could just answer how you use Issuu, which ways you may use Issuu. We'll run that for a little bit. And then once the answers are filled in, we'll have just another quick poll just to get a sense of what everyone does with Issuu or how they might be using it currently. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do part 2. So second question, just to check, if you had the chance to attend or watch part 1 of the webinar, please let us know. We have a recording of part 1 that we're happy to share, but looks like as folks are answering, happy to, we might run part 1 again in the future as well for more details. But that's not to say part 2 is not also super cool. So if you haven't seen part 1, it's okay. Part 2 is also really great, and we'll be sharing part 1 out following today's webinar. Okay, so a little bit about Issuu and who we are. Our mission at Issuu is to enable anyone from independent creators to global brands to create, share, measure, and monetize their digital content. There's a huge opportunity to take any of your content and bring it into that digital space, whether it is print materials or interactive PDFs that you've designed before. So a quick overview about how we see this and how you can use Issuu strategically. This looks kind of complicated, but I promise it's not. All you have to do is publish any materials you may have to Issuu, whether that is a PDF, Word document, PowerPoint presentation, or InDesign document, as we'll be showing today. You can then take that content and generate derivatives of that content into other versions, which is what we'll be focusing on in today's webinar, on how you can take your InDesign content and create some really nice vertical video components and features for the purposes of sharing anywhere you want. These in particular are super useful for sharing on social media as stories or TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. These are really great for those mobile social interactions. And lastly, the ability to measure the impact of those creations using the Issuu analytics and statistics. And as you can see on that dotted blue line at the end, those statistics can also really be used as a way to inform other derivatives you might want to make from your content. So today I'll be focused on the InDesign and Issuu demo using the InDesign extension available for free on the Adobe Exchange. We'll be taking your InDesign spreads, I have one already prepared, and creating a visual story out of that. So we'll go more into detail over the course of the demo. Just a quick aside, and just want to make sure you can all still see my screen. Let's see. So Got it. So this week is Adobe Max, which is the creativity conference starting tomorrow until the 22nd, which you can register for. We are one of the sponsors of the Adobe Max conference, and we have some special deals and offers during the conference that you will all get special access to today, along with a more in-depth version of some of our demo materials. But if that's something you're interested in, we definitely recommend you check out Adobe Max tomorrow as well. The Adobe InDesign Extension can also be found on the Adobe Exchange, which is exchange.adobe.com. If you just search for Issuu, it will be the Issuu Stories Extension. So it looks like this. And here you can, I've already downloaded it, so but all you have to do is with your Adobe Creative Cloud account, you can download the Issuu Stories extension, which will then be added into your InDesign workspace as well. So I'm going to switch over to InDesign to show today's product. So here we have my InDesign workspace where I've already downloaded the extension from the Adobe Exchange for free, and I have my document all set up. So this is kind of a preview of one of our ebooks that we'll be launching soon. That has just some of the details. Here you can see all of the text is still working text. I haven't expanded anything out, and I have all of my images set up in my document. So one way that you can upload this is through the kind of classic uploading your document, exporting it as an interactive PDF and uploading that PDF to Issuu. But today we'll be focusing more on the Visual Stories extension. So if I go over to File here and then Issuu Create a Story, as you can see the pink highlighted location. This is the free InDesign extension that is available in Adobe Exchange. You can choose from 3 different story style templates currently, but we have more to come. I'm going to choose the Engage style because it's my personal favorite. And what we'll do next is just select the content from the pages or spreads that I have in my document. So I'm going to choose the first few pages. And I'm going to focus on some of the pages that have images as well, just choosing around. But of course, you can choose if you have your long form content and you want to focus on specific pages, you can choose them by selecting or holding Shift and selecting for different page ranges as well. Once I have my pages selected, I am going to click Create Story here at the bottom. And as that is creating, it's going to open up my web browser where it will export my story or my visual story to whatever Issuu account you are logged into. Again, this is a free feature both on the Issuu Exchange as well, or the Adobe Exchange rather, as well as through your Issuu account. So here I have my Issuu account. I'm going to click Continue to connect it to my account. And now I will be in the Issuu workspace. So what we have done is essentially selected all of the elements from my original document here, including the logos, the text, and all of the images. And we automatically pull those elements into a working file where you can really easily click and drag to make any adjustments, as well as change the text from all of the detected text that we were able to find and pull from your document. So with this tool, it makes it super quick and easy to create the video content for what we call visual stories. Here I will show you again what this looks like in my draft. So I've taken all of the elements, pulled the text, as well as all of the images. If I wanted to choose additional images that maybe I didn't have in my document, or maybe I missed some pages, I could also upload any images from my desktop by clicking on the little plus side at the top here in the assets. So I can really easily click and drag, change the text, as well as adjust the fonts. We have a few free fonts available that you can choose from to adjust the style or look and feel of your document. And we can also go in here, and if we wanted to, we could also change the style from engaged to the other styles, or we can adjust the order that the pages go in, as well as duplicate to add more pages and more styles. You can also click and drag any of these elements and move them around, or make any other kind of slight adjustments you might want. This logo is just pulling from my account. So if you have your little profile picture, it will be whatever your profile picture is set as, but I can also click and drag to change those photos as well. So it doesn't have to be the Issuu logo. Or if you don't want it in there, it will also just pull as the blank version if you don't want to drag anything in there. So once these have been created using InDesign, what's really nice is you can now preview this to see what it looks like. We use some really soft pans just to add some motion elements into the style, as well as some different text animations and some vignettes just to add a little bit of contrast to your content. Once it is ready and good to go, all you have to do is click Create Story. And as it is being assembled, I can give a little bit more details. So here you'll have whatever the title is. You can change this as well as the description. So we take all of the elements from your selected text and use that to populate the description, but you can also add or subtract any details for search optimization purposes. As these stories are created, you're able to use those elements to index them with Google. So you will be able to create content that is not only super cool kind of video content for social purposes, but also search optimized and indexed using the Google AMP or AMP program. So just once this is ready and good to go, I can click on the share button here. And there are a few different ways that you can share this visual story now that it is live. One way, as mentioned, is with the AMP link. So copy and paste and go. So this link is going to be an evergreen link. It will always exist, unlike social media stories, which might post and then disappear after 24 hours, or you have to make sure that you highlight those stories as well. These are permanent links that are also search optimized and will show up on Google search results as well. So it's a great way to kind of add a little bit more value or brand recognition to your marketing cadence and strategies. These content pieces will also link out back to your content and your pages, and are a great way to share your content as visual stories. Another way that you can share and save these elements is by downloading the visual story as either one long video or as individual pages, which you can then use in any scheduling tools if you are a social media marketer or you work with a social media marketer. You can give them these files and they'll be able to use them for their social media strategies. So it's a really great way to add more value to your original flat plan documents. And lastly, you can also share these visual story elements by clicking on any of those social media buttons, which will then push you to the related page, and you'll be able to post your content. So I'm going to go over to issuu.com as well. If you are not the primary person who posts the social media strategies, you can also access the visual stories, or anyone that you may be working with can also access all of the visual stories from their Issuu account by going over to the Visual Stories button here on the left-hand side. And they'll have a full record of all the stories that they've made. As you can see, I've made quite a few. And they can also share those by clicking on the share button here or edit them as well in a really super easy to edit style. So those are just a couple of ways that you can create visual stories directly from your InDesign document. What's really nice about this, and I think a really nice added bonus to doing this, is just the time factor of it, being able to create more elements and more assets and collateral materials from one document. So you can share it in multiple different ways, whether that is taking your original document and sharing it as a flipbook, or taking it and creating something entirely new from it and repurposing all those elements that you've taken the time to design or taken the time to write and use them in a whole other way. So that is a very quick overview of the InDesign tool. You can also create visual stories directly from any of your uploaded stories content as well by going into your publications. So if you have any uploaded content that you have created in the past, you can also go over to any of your published documents and click on Create a Visual Story and select pages in the same way that you have selected them from your original version as well. So whether you're using InDesign directly or using uploaded materials, we essentially use the same strategies of pulling that information in when you have your text and your images, so you can pretty easily click and drag that content as well as pull any of the text from your original document. And one last poll before we switch over to the Q&A portion. If you are interested in a one-on-one consultation on how Issuu can help engage your audience, feel free to answer yes or no. We'll be switching over to the Q&A portion where we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. And then if you stick around to the end, we might have a special offer as well for you. So while everyone answers, I'll be looking at the Q&A questions as well, and I'll try to answer. Oops. Okay, great. So I'll be looking at the questions, and if Craig or Michelle, if there are any questions in particular that you saw during the Q&A.
Yeah, actually, I have one. Pretty common. People wanted to know if they can find the part 1 recording somewhere easily.
Yes, so in our follow-up email, we'll share both part 1 as well as the recording of part 2. They can also be found, I think, on the issuu.com/webinars page, which we'll be updating soon.
Another question that came in a lot, people wanted to know if there's any difference between the extension and then just accessing visual stories directly from the platform.
Yes. So I would say that the InDesign extension would best be used in cases, especially for designers or creators who have the working InDesign file as a way to create additional assets, while creating visual stories from your publications are a really great way to cross-link your publication to your visual story. So both are useful, and I think both are really great ways to use and create content. Visual Stories from the InDesign extension just creates a really quicker way to create those assets directly from your files. So as you're exporting your document, if you have the extension downloaded, you can really quickly also make those visual story elements as well.
Another question that just came up was just how to find the Visual Stories tool from the platform. If we're able to just show.
Okay, I will show both ways of how to do this. So if you go over to exchange.adobe.com, this is the Adobe Exchange Marketplace. From this page, you can go over to the Creative Cloud and then search in the Marketplace issue, ISSUU, and it's going to be the Issuu Stories extension. When you have, once you get to this page, and we can also send a link, a direct link to this extension as well, you just have to download it from the Adobe Exchange and add it to your extensions from InDesign. And there is more information available on exactly how to do it and where to find it, all on the Adobe Exchange page as well as the Adobe Help Center. Once it is downloaded, again, you can find it in your InDesign by going File and then down to Issue Create a Story. And at that point, it's going to pull up the story style. You select which one you want to use, and then it will show you which pages you can pull from your content. If you want to go back, you can also preview what these styles look like. So it gives a little bit more context using some sample versions. So this is the Engage style, while this is the Inspire style, which uses a little bit more longer form text and a few different kind of design styles. And then the Voice style, which is a little bit more dynamic and uses quite a few photos and adds more animation elements into it as well.
Another question that came in was just about fonts, how to change the fonts and select those.
Yep. So selecting fonts can be done through the Issuu Visual Story Editor. So here, if you select your text, the fonts that you choose will be in this upper left-hand corner. We have a few free fonts available currently, and we're always adding more. So if you have more styles that you're looking for, we love to get those feedbacks. I see one comment as well that asks, do you recommend creating stories after the publication goes live? So I would recommend creating these stories. You can create them after it goes live or even before to kind of prep your materials ahead of time. The really great way to use this is by having these materials to then link back to whatever content you want. So if you want to use these as kind of a sneak preview before getting to that full page version, or you can even fully change the text out and use these elements for any other use cases you might want, or you might think of for ads or sales or driving users to kind of anywhere that they might want to be driven. You can also use it to drive them directly to web pages if you're kind of running a campaign and you use these just as those video elements as well.
We had another question that came in was just about the possibility to download the content and then take it offline.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, just the ability to download it into an MP4.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
So when you click Create Story, there are a few ways that you can do this actually. I'm focusing on the desktop version just because it's the easiest one to demonstrate. But once it has been created and shared, oops, I might be going too fast. Once it's been created and shared, you're able to download all of the elements, and they will download as an MP4 on your desktop. With the Issuu app, which is available on both Android and iPhone, sorry, available both on Android and iPhone, iOS. You can also access all of your elements directly from your mobile device as well. Those would be located in the app in your visual stories. So we have more information on where you can access all of these elements as well in the Help Center, I believe.
Another question, and right on this page is perfect. Is it possible to add images in the asset section for article stories?
For article stories or visual?
Sorry, for visual stories.
Okay. Yes, you can upload more images from for visual stories by going over here to the kind of corner here where I'm hovering. And then you can drag and drop or browse any of your files. I would recommend larger file images. But even if your document doesn't have images to begin with, you could always get free photos from like Unsplash or any other stock photo resources as well. So, sorry, my computer is a little slow today, which is never what you want during a demo day. But here I can show you, I've just chosen a folder, an image from my folders, and now I am uploading that image. And once it's uploaded, it will be over here and I can click and drag to add it. So you can do that with any images that are on your desktop or anywhere else. I actually pulled this one using the Google Drive extension that is available through Google Chrome. So you can do that super easily if you don't have images. And we also can pull all of the text in. So one thing that I do, even though it's very long form text, all of this text is used for the indexing and automation purposes for search optimization. But I can also take all of this kind of pre-approved copy and use it to populate the content in my document as well, which is really nice, just so I don't have to like go between a bunch of different documents or files to find the text that I want for this document.
Another question that came in was just, do I need Adobe account to use Issuu?
Nope, you don't need an Adobe account to use Issuu. So while today's demo was really focused on the free InDesign extension, you can also create an Issuu account fully separate from that. All you have to do is upload any content. So if you're on your Issuu homepage, you can go over to upload, and you can upload content from your desktop, Dropbox, or Google Drive. So even if you don't have an Adobe account, you can upload any content. We really recommend PDF content in particular, but if you have a Word document, you can just save it as a PDF and upload that as well, and it'll work the same, and you'll be able to use the visual stories tools as well.
Sorry, just going through the Q&A here, trying to find something else here. So one person asked, can you create visual stories using Issuu from PowerPoint?
Yes, so if you save your PowerPoint document as a PDF and then upload that PDF to Issuu, you can then use that document to create a visual story. So it would essentially look the same as uploading any other PDF document. And then once it has been uploaded, you can go over to the Visual Stories tab over on the left-hand side, and you'll be able to create a visual story, or you can go from your publications and click Create a Visual Story. Here I'll show you as well when I'm kind of in my document that I've uploaded to Issuu. Here again on the side, I can click on Visual Stories and click Create New Visual Story, and again, create. So this can be done with any PDF content, as including exported content from Keynote or PowerPoint or other kind of slides documents as well.
And then we just also had a question about the consultation, wondering if there was a cost associated with that.
Nope, that would be a free one-on-one consultation on how we can help engage your audiences. So I think that is just about it in terms of time that we have today. But thank you all for joining. Just as special thanks for everyone joining today, we have some special webinar savings. You can save 50% off of your Issuu Premium annual subscription. This offer expires on midnight, October 23rd. The offer code is located here. It is ID PT2 _ 50 PREMANN. So we will be sending an email out as well with the offer code and more details. If you are already an Issuu user, please wait until you receive this email. We'll give Issuu users a special link. And then if you are a new user, you can use this offer code at checkout. So that offer will be sent over emails. Any existing users will get that special savings. And then if you are a new Issuu user, or if you do not have an account yet, you can use this offer code, which will be sent as well. If you have any other questions about webinars, or if you have more questions about stories, Craig Kingsbury, who was helping today with the Q&A portion, runs weekly stories webinars as well. So you can sign up for those webinars on a weekly basis. And Craig, if you want to give any more details about your very cool working sessions.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so you can actually register for those directly from the dashboard. So when you're logged in, you'll see there's a couple of tiles there with just announcements. And that's always on there, so you can register for that. It happens every week at the same time, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific. So if it doesn't work for you this week, no problem. You can always just sign up and register and just join, maybe the following week if that works better for you. But it is a live webinar, so you can ask questions. It's interactive. So if you have anything specific that you want to touch on or just get more detail on, it's a great opportunity for that.
Plus, Craig is very cool. So if you have any other questions, stay tuned for the follow-up emails with part 2 as well as part 1. And finally, the webinar savings available here with the special offer code. And thank you all for joining today.